And guess what Christian wants to do? He wants to do an oil change on the mall crawler. On the coldest day of the year, I have to be inside the garage again and freeze my butt off. He's actually serious about that. Oh my God.
So before starting this, I turned the fuel burning heater on because it's really cold today and we got some winter. So now we're gonna check the oil temperature and see that our gap tool is ready for this job. So this must have been the longest period with our pit closed. I think it's been 3 weeks.
Now that is precision work.
Our garage is too short to put the car over the pit. So we gotta level out the slope to our garage to make the car sit straight. This is really important when doing HP8 ZF transmission work, okay? If you got your car out of level, you will screw it up. So you better build your garage long enough.
I would have said all that too.
Okay,
but I started with a transmission.
I started with what is a steam engine. You gotta get to the point, you know.
I think that board is gonna break under the heavy weight of that big ass mall crawler.
Got the car on level ground. Got an oil temperature in the oil sump of 73 degrees, so the engine is quite warm. But the transmission, of course, not. It's only 30 degrees. We just don't want it to be completely cold to drain the oil.
You know, we could have done that last week when it was 20 degrees.
It's a nice day to work on the Discovery when it's snowing outside. ZF does not in particular say that the engine should be hot when starting this oil change. That is in the ZF oil change manual for the ZF HP8, what came with the filter. But who needs that if you got a Robbie's guide from www.disco3.co.uk? Of course we follow the Robbie's guide.
Of course we do.
Yeah, and not some bullshit ZF magazine, okay?
Ah, here it is. Robbie's guide.
So we're gonna do the ZF HP8 oil change today. It's not a transmission oil flush. The car has 90,000 kilometers on it, and the oil should be changed at 80,000 according to ZF. Land Rover doesn't give a damn, so their oil change interval is for sure when your transmission is bad, you get new oil. Follow the Robbie's guide to ZF8 auto transmission oil change. We have a new oil pan from ZF fitting the Land Rover Discovery 4 with new bolts and a new train plug. The filter is integrated in the oil pan right here, and that's the reason why we're changing the oil pan. We got the original ZF Lifeguard Fluid8. We got 5 liters. Then we got a filling pump from Amazon for about €9. Typically Chinese stuff is extremely reliable. We got some brake cleaner, and we got a couple of sockets, and of course a lot of rags. And we got a Discovery 4. You also need that to perform that job, okay?
Yeah.
The car is in its regular drive height, not in extended mode or lower down.
So he's gonna disable the air suspension. You always do that, by the way.
The third one from the bottom up is the air suspension.
Is that the same position as on mine?
That's an illegal, complicated question.
What do you call it?
It's worn out.
Worn out, exactly.
Okay,
like
so
on mine.
on yours, you just need to flip it and it's out. We're gonna take off this plastic cover of the oil
Plastic?
tank. Remember we did this huge oil pan replacement where the
But because it wasn't that dramatic, I don't remember. Oh my god.
See?
Oh my god. Oh, shit.
Get shit on camera.
Oh my god.
You're wearing a dress in my pit. Do this off camera so you don't get your dress all caught up.
Oh my god. 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 I'm so stressed. Oh my god.
That's your fault.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Said to do this with an assistant, and my assistant is wearing a dress.
No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's huge. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So the first step is to drain the oil. And before we drain the oil, we open the fill plug of the transmission to make sure that one is not seized. Because if you drain your oil and your fill plug is screwed up, you're in trouble. Okay. And the fill plug may already leak out some oil now. But because the transmission is cold, it shouldn't be much.
Can we take off the heat shield?
It's not in... Oh, well, that was a little different than expected. It's supposed to have only a dribble. This fluid is supposed to be green.
What?
And it's not completely dark. So that's not a complete disaster. All right, in the next step, I gotta open up this drain plug now here.
We haven't had an oil spill in a long time.
If we screw it up, we have our second car. So I'm gonna open this drain plug now. But thanks to the Robbie's guide, we have a chance of success. So, I leave the plug in so it doesn't flush out everything at once. That's what Robbie says in his guide, to regulate the oil drain flow using the drain plug. And is it really filming this?
Yes, it's the best footage.
So here we're draining it out of the plug. This is the security footage in case Vera didn't get it. We'll just wait.
Yeah.
So we gotta take off the under shields.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not a skid plate.
It's a skid plate.
It's a kind of skid plate. It's a sheet metal
almost
skid
sheet metal plate. Okay, it's not a Toyota skid plate, but
Yeah.
you know, it keeps out the dirt. So the drain plug is out completely and it fell into the oil, of course. I want to check up the car on this corner just a tiny bit so the oil on this flat pan flows rather this way. These bolts are really hard to access to take the oil pan off, and because we got only 90,000 kilometers on it and our oil is still nice and clear, we're not going to change that oil pan today. If I evaluate the risk of this job and the duration and what I gain out of it, I think I'd rather leave my hands off this. And when we ever have a reason to dismantle the transmission from the engine, for example, because of that oil leak I see here,
Oh my god.
we're gonna get that thing changed. Also, Robbie does not change it, so it makes me feel better. Yeah?
So we have to reshoot all our intro footage.
A few years ago, fake news was all standard. No oil leak whatsoever, so our oil pan repair we did looks like worked okay.
Oh, the oil pan repair. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. See, this is already good enough. Give me the level. You just put my level away, what I had here. Yeah, I got this big of a gap. See this gap over here? It's definitely not leaning in the wrong direction for draining the oil, okay? This is a precision.
That's like something I would say.
This is a precision German oil drain, okay? We're not leaving anything.
Yeah.
When I use my torpedo level, I can also see that the oil pan is a little bit up.
Is it made out of aluminum down there or steel? Sticking or not?
That's not sticking because that's plastic.
Oh, what the hell? It's a plastic car. Now that's from me. I touched it right now. There's no oil in that pan. They break off when you take off the fender arch. Yeah, Christian says I'm not paying attention.
You're not paying attention. It's a good size O-ring. It looks excellent. So I'm not worried about reusing this. I'm gonna leave my new oil pan all virgin. And I put the used drain plug in here. Not screw up this thread. The Newton meters for tightening this are in the specification from ZF.
Oh my god.
Maybe on my driver's seat.
Yeah, he threw it down there.
On the drain plug, you gotta be careful. There is a drain plug for the four-wheel drive and for the rear-wheel drive. On the four-wheel drive, we got 12 Newton meters, so that's what we be using. And then for the fill plug, we got also four-wheel drive with 30 Newton meter, not 35 for whatever reason. So we use 12 for drain, 30 for fill. So I got this to 12 Newton meter. Should be good like this.
We have two plugs we have to put in.
Yeah, the second plug we can't put in because, you know, we can't get our oil back in.
Oh, okay, there's a fill plug. Oops.
Put in the first leader. If this would be smart, this would be like kind of the same thread, wouldn't it? Oh, it actually works. Yeah, this works. I lowered it back down, so it's absolutely level now. So it will take a while, but we got whole morning, except that we want to eat lunch at one point. This seems to be the right tool for the job. So Vera is all stressed today.
No, I'm not stressed, but you make so many do that, do that, do that. I have no freedom.
But that's what an assistant gets.
I'm not your assistant, I'm your partner.
Oh, okay, good. So this is bottle number 2 and I'm already out of breath. The pump is functioning good.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work. See, there's 100 milliliters gone.
Yeah.
So, bottle 2 gone. Yeah.
So there's also about 50 milliliters left, and we're going to combine them later on. Another 110 pumps or whatever. Oh, it's dripping, Christian. It's dripping a lot. You're causing an oil spill.
Oh, shit.
Now that's a problem. It's supposed to stay inside.
We got 2 liters only in, and now we got already a first dribble.
What does Robbie has to say about that?
We're gonna have to pump this oil now into the components inside the transmission. For that we have to run the engine.
Oh my God. I suppose that's okay.
I hope so.
Oh my God. Lunchtime and we are not halfway done.
Okay, the procedure is from Robbie and from the ZF guide that once you have enough oil in the transmission and it's dribbling out, you got to start the engine. And while the engine is running, we got to shift it through different gears. And while it's doing that, I got to pump in more oil. The idea behind this is that it fills the internal components of the transmission, like the pump and all the valves and channels and the torque converter.
Christian, it's an automatic. It can go into neutral and nothing else while it's parked here.
We're gonna shift it through the gears. We need 2 people for this, okay?
Oh man.
Somebody needs to shift through the gears.
I'm not doing
that. It's
that.
gonna be difficult for you. And how are we gonna do the
Yeah, we
filling
should
and,
have known that earlier.
So we are in the filling procedure now, and Robbie writes, failure to follow the correct steps may damage your gearbox. In the first step, we're gonna turn the engine on when I say so, and then I use this shifter to go to drive and to go to park and to go to neutral as I say. And when you do this, you keep your foot on the brake. Very simple. Robbie did it alone, but it's better to do it with 2 people because I can pump fluid in quicker while giving you commands. Put my fill hose back into it. So turn ignition on and start the car. And schaltest den in D. And now I pump in fluid until it's running out again.
Oh my God, I'm so stressed.
Okay, put it in neutral.
Yeah?
Put it in neutral.
It is in neutral. We need walkie-talkies. It's a weird sound.
Okay, I gotta change the bottle.
So my problem is when I put it in D and shift it into gears and there's no clutch. I mean, if you... Yeah, so he's always interfering with my filming, and then he complains. My problem is, as I'm driving a manual transmission, you know, when I shift it into gears with a pedal shifter, there's no clutch. And in my world, I put it into first gear and it smashes against the wall. But why is there no... What the hell? Temperature's not working.
So we're still in neutral?
Yes.
Okay, now shift it to D.
Yeah? I'm back in D.
Now shift it in reverse.
Oh. Now I'm in reverse? Whoa! I don't like that.
Now put it in neutral. Close it temporarily up. Okay, now put it into neutral.
It is in neutral.
And now rev it at 2000 RPM and hold it for about 5 seconds.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wait a second, how many RPM?
Good. Okay. Even in neutral. This was basically priming the pump and the converter.
So I had to rev it up to 2000 and I understood 5000 first.
Until there is a good steady stream. Like this. Okay, now we'll close it back up. Now turn off the engine. Turn it off.
Neutral, not in park.
Wow, that was tough.
Well, because I didn't understand neutral.
Turn it to park.
Oh my God, so all that yelling for nothing. Yeah, remember it only stays in neutral for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you have it.
Don't go into the car wash.
I'm gonna tighten up the fill plug a little bit. Not very tight because we're not done. We still have to do a fluid check.
I turned on the heated seat. That was really nice. Now
Okay.
I'm all warm up again.
We have the cold transmission priming procedure completed now. And we filled fluid in until it was dribbling out in a steady stream in every gear. Then we closed the drain plug and we revved the engine in neutral to 2000 and we held that RPM for a bit. Then we opened the drain plug again and then we filled in some more fluid until there was a steady stream again. We got 3.7 liters in now. This is the oil we drained during the filling process, so we're gonna have to meter how much that is, because that oil we have to deduct from our 3.7 liters. The next step is now to get the transmission onto temperature.
Oh my God.
So right now here we are in D2 and I'm also going to go to D1 and I'm holding each gear for 10 seconds to make sure those two stages of the transmission are primed as well. Don't tell Vera that I forgot this earlier. I'm going back to neutral here. When we rev the engine for 2000 RPM to prime the gearbox, I need to hold it for 30 seconds and I had Vera only holding it for 5 seconds, so don't tell her that, okay? That was all wrong. So I got to go here for 30 seconds and now we let it idle in park until it has the full temperature. Only if it has the full temperature, it will prime the cooler system. We need to get 69 magical degrees according to the Rabi's guide.
That's gonna take over lunch. Hopefully the greenhouse terrorists don't know. So with the oil temperature now at 70 degrees, which took forever, I'm gonna shift through the gears here one more time. Here's D, and we also go into D1 and D2 and hold it there for 10 seconds. We can turn the engine off and let it cool down. So the oil temperature sank down to 37 degrees. According to the Rabi's guide, we need to be around 30 degrees. According to the ZF manual, it needs to be between 30 and 50. I'm kind of done waiting. Okay, this is the oil we took out of the transmission, and I made sure we did not spill anything. So we took out 3.05 liters. I metered it precisely using this measuring cup. 3.7 liters are missing in our containers here. So we put in 3.7 liters, but 0.15 of this was spilled on the side, running out of the fill hole. So we have 3.55 liters right now in the vehicle, which is to the original filling a delta of 0.5 liters. So what I'm gonna do now with the cooled down engine, I'm gonna let fluid out to the level specified. So when it starts to dribble, that's the specified level, but I would definitely not let more than half a liter out, so that we for sure have the same quantity in the transmission as before. I do not want to run a lower oil level suddenly on this transmission. It would be perfect if it starts to dribble when I hit like 0.4 liters or so, okay? That would be like German precision.
Okay.
Yeah? Maybe not Japanese precision, but German precision and far exceeding Chinese precision. This is what I'm gonna use to watch the oil when it drains out, and guess what your job is now? To
start the engine.
To start the engine again.
Oh my God.
But see right here, it says in the Rabi's guide, turn off engine, have dinner and first beer, to wait until it was cool enough, below 30 degrees. We're gonna be a little harder than 30. Then start engine again. And also during waiting, we didn't eat our evening meal like Rabi is writing. We actually ate lunch. So we did not 100% comply with his regulation here. Well, he wasn't drunk after one beer.
Well, I'm drunk after one beer.
Okay, yeah, that's a different story. We can start the engine again. I remove the fill plug. And then he says I slowly fill with ATF, but I know on ours there is nothing more I can fill. It's gonna drain actually out. I'm gonna let it drain out until a fine thread of fluid leaks from the port.
A thread is not a dribble.
Oh,
I'm sorry, a thread is a continuous flow, and a dribble is drop after drop
until
after
there is
drop.
a fine thread of a continuous flow. That's fine. I'm gonna comply with this rule. Check the engine temperature one more time.
Let's
it
start the engine.
The oil temperature we got. It's not quite as low as Rabi's, so now I start the engine. I leave it in park, and now I'm gonna go down. Oh look, it's dropping because it's pumping around the cool fluid.
Yeah.
Let me get out. What we gotta make sure is that this temperature does not rise above 40 degrees.
Okay. So it's rising. It's 36 degrees, 37.
We don't have any time. We gotta go over that hill.
Yeah. So I hope you guys know where those plugs are, because it's really hard to get a camera from me there.
Until a fine thread. Okay, that makes sense. That's about 200 milliliters out. 250 out. So that's 300 milliliters out. And that's really already a fine thread, I would say.
No.
Yes, it is. That's good enough.
Fine thread, yeah.
We're gonna torque this nut and wipe it clean, and we're done.
Well, we have 3.25. Oh, it's 45. Oh my God.
Okay, so 45 is below the ZF manual, but above the Rabi's guide.
Oh my God.
So we have two ways to know that we are accurate. We have the original oil filling from the factory.
At the end, it was just what I wanted.
So I'm put it in here. This is 440 milliliters, and here we got 280. We got oil spillage. We have 0.45.
Oh.
Okay. Is what we have in. No used. Okay.
That looks good.
So this is about 200 milliliters more than what was in the vehicle.
Well, the ZF manual talks about 10% difference.
So 3.27 divided by is 7%.
Yeah, I think that's less than 10%. We can live with that.
Yeah.
Stop the engine. Ah.
To 30.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So we did not end up changing the oil pan
Yes,
of the transmission fluid.
You all know what I have to say about this. Okay, we got to turn around before we try to summit in bad weather. If we want to get back alive, we rather don't summit. So this thing can be replaced on the next go around. The oil was completely clean, and Robin also did not change it. So this got to be enough of an explanation. At least not frozen to death on the summit. We'll change this thing at 130,000.
If we still have the car by then. Yeah.
Let me add to my word to the Sunday.
Yeah.
It is freezing cold today, okay? And this would have been a major debacle to get that pan out, because I have to raise the transmission and take one cross member out. Then I got to fiddle all those bolts out with cold fingers, and Vera dribbling around freezing because we don't want to use the heater. And with the heater is too much noise in here. So there were plenty of reasons not to do that and skipping this step.
Exactly.
I know our shop light actually sucks. And we got a really generous contribution from one of our viewers. He suggested to buy a much better work light, and he gave us certainly enough to buy the best work light we can get. but I haven't found a really good one. So a really high quality work light with a good budget. This is what he told us to get. So if anybody has a suggestion on, you know, what we should buy there, please let me know. I already got the money for it.
Thanks, Daniel. Don't forget the air suspension fuse.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
We forgot one step. We should reset the adaptation values of the transmission. This is not 100% essential to do if you don't have a scan tool. So I go service test transmission and I say clear adaptation values. Proceed, yes. Engine will automatically shut off. Continue.
Oh my God.
So now it's doing magic and it resets the adaptation values. ECU initialization, clearing faults. Operation succeeded. Continue. So what is going on now is the transmission has to relearn certain shift points and frictions and other things. So the car is going to shift the next couple miles kind of erratic and surprising, but it will readapt and learn its behavior from scratch.
As long as it doesn't rev up to 4,000 RPM.
Like the one from Richard.
Yeah. So we have snow.
And we're not driving home for Christmas.
No.
We got summer
Whoa.
tires on. So
Yes, and we have a SUV, not a Challenger.
we have to be a little bit careful with the summer tires today. And it's shifting quicker, not as smooth as before. So I think that has to do with the adaptation values being reset. And I think it needs to relearn that usually I'm driving like the Queen is drinking a cup of tea in the back. Right now it's thinking I'm Walter Röhrl.
In an Urquattro.
It's a little snowy.
Yeah.
Go, we gotta watch out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's gonna tip us over.
Yeah, this car has just an enormous amount of power.
Yeah, it has much more power than my car.
Yeah.
So whoever is asking for a Disco 3 or Disco 4, if you want power, get the 3-liter machine.
I know
Yeah.
you don't do Newton meters, but this baby has 600 of them.
Yeah, 600 Newton. I can only do one thing at a time. You know?
Okay. So let's see if the manual shifting works. Here, see?
You know, I cannot remember for the life of me how to get out of that pedal shifting. You know, I drive the car once a month
Yeah,
and
now you're gonna get 50 comments that you have to hold the plus button pushed.
Maybe I should write it 50 times like in school, then I would actually remember.
Okay, we're producing a lot of footage, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
So in Germany, a lot of people have already switched over to summer tires. That one didn't even switch over to winter tires.
That's really it for this week's video. We got the oil change done. Didn't go quite as planned, but at least we didn't die on the summit.
Yes, and we didn't freeze to death. I would have cleaned up the car. I would have not taken the snow off the box. Man.
Make sure you stay tuned for some footage after our regular outtake, as every week. And we thank our Patreons a lot for their support. They make these channels possible. And we'll
See you next Sunday.
Oh, wow. This is looking good. You gonna bend those around? So Robin is home for the weekend and then he's using his forge here at home. Forming the nostrils.
take this shape here. That's not bad. Yeah, that works. So, finished product is a bottle opener. Wow, this looks really, really nice. Awesome. Good job, Robin. And this is a gift.
Yeah.
Another thing is we are currently out of patches. We have more on order, so if you request patches right now, it will be about 2 weeks before we can send more patches out.
Oh my God.
That's the... We should go home and get the chainsaw, you know?
Look at that, it was derooted. If it's from the snow or from that storm we had on Friday. Wow! Help!
Yeah, this is dangerous.
The branches are falling. Oh! Let's go. So that's where we came from.
That's like story till now quality.
Yeah, that is story till now quality. Oh, yeah. I have only winter tires on. Ah.
In Germany, unfortunately, we don't have any mud. If we would want to have mud, we would have to import it from Australia. Everything is paved and sealed.
Yeah.
No mud. No mud crawling, no mud tires, no nothing. If you want to have your mud, you're going to go on a kid's playground and pour water into the sand pit.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that.
And then you got some mud. You know, you get in trouble for driving around with your SUV.
Oh my God. Look at that.
Oh, jeez.
I hope they don't fall down. Whoa.
Oh, boy. Matt from Off-Road Recovery, we could say
Ed.
No, not, yeah, I'm talking about Matt. You
Yes,
know?
but Ed gives the weather report.
I could say it like, we just got a call. Someone got his ECU all screwed up and tangled, and the car is in limp mode, and all bings and bongs gone off.
On the Maira Stura, and we'll get him out.